Hello everyone, today we're going to be looking at 6 Lies America Told Me by Jovie's Home. That is her channel, so go check her out if you want to. Let's see what we got here. Don't forget guys, like this video, subscribe to the channel, everything like that truly helps me out. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video.
Hi, welcome to Jovie's Home. I post new videos every Tuesday and sometimes Thursdays. Today I am sharing with you 6 lies that America told me. All right, sorry, that was a little bit clickbaity, but the real thing that we're talking about today is 6 myths or false beliefs that I had coming from America into Europe, and things that I really believed were true because America told me, and they were actually not true. So if that sounds good to you, why don't you come on in, kick off your
That
shoes
sounds
and stick
interesting,
one.
so let's stick around, see what we got here. That sounds interesting to you as well. Stick around, let's see what we got.
I'm really glad you're here.
Yeah.
So let's start out with the Dutch word of the day, and I think that it's very fitting that we have the Dutch word of the day be what the word for United States, and that is Verenigde Staten. Verenigde Staten.
Verenigde
You guys know I
Staten.
have to do a little disclaimer because about maybe a little bit over a year ago, I posted a video talking about why I would never move back to the United States. And that video is my #2 best performing video of all time. However, that video has an unbelievable amount of hate comments coming from people in the States that strongly disagree with the things that I said in that video. Now, I do acknowledge that that video wasn't maybe my best because I just turned on the camera when I was angry and I just ranted. But now I've really collected my thoughts, and these are 7 points that, specifically if you're watching in America, I hope that you can just listen and understand and be open-minded about the things that I'm saying. And I'm not saying them to bash on America because I hate America. It's actually quite the opposite. Like, if I hated America, I would give no attention to it. I would give no time on my channel to it. I would not give it any
That is
space on my
true.
platform. But because I actually really want to see it improve because I care about it is the reason that I make these videos. Just like with my own children, when they're doing something wrong, sometimes you have to point out the things that are wrong so that they can learn and do it right next time. You know what I mean? That's this. That's where my heart is. We're gonna stop with the disclaimers, but that's my stand, okay? Let's do this.
Okay.
Number 1, the approach to poverty and disability. And I felt, or it was my impression, again, in the United States, that poverty needs to be not seen, you know? So what they would do, or what is done in a lot of cities, is you have districts or areas, the projects or whatever, where you have social or low income housing, and they're kind of lumped in one area. And then you have everyone else that is not on social housing or benefits living in another area. This kind of division or divide creates 2 very different Americas. The glam, rich America that some people see, and then the very, very impoverished, awful America that is the reality for so many millions of people. In Europe, it's not like that. In Europe, you have all the social housing intermixed with regular housing. And I think that for me, it was a big wake-up call to see how that looks and how it actually functions. And you don't have these like ultra super rich, like gated neighborhoods the way that you do in the States, because you don't need to keep anyone out because you're sharing a neighborhood with them. Like, everybody cares about the neighborhoods because they're all living there together. It was a real mind
True.
shift for me when I was told that there's also, low income housing the one street over, or, on my same street as, the very fancy international organization that I was working at, and where I was living in that very, very posh neighborhood. And at first, no lie, I did not like it because I was afraid, because I had come in with this mentality that anyone who's poor is going to want to rob me or steal my bike, and that's just not the case. Like, there's because I didn't live among poorer people, and because I didn't um, have experiences and interactions with them on a regular basis, I had all of these judgments or preconceived notions about them in my mind that were wrong, that were absolutely wrong. And now, by living in the European or the Dutch way, whatever you want to call it, like I see it very, very different. Number
Interesting.
two,
Good point right there.
government funded or government organized healthcare is not awful. It isn't. It isn't awful. In my experiences with healthcare in Europe have actually been better than in the United States. When we talk about healthcare in Europe, there is something that really stands out to me in my memory. This is an old clip, but this was something that really had an effect on me at the time. And that was Rick Santorum talking about the Netherlands and these death panels that, under the healthcare system of the Netherlands, and because euthanasia is legal here, that basically once you're of a certain age, you just get. It's not true. This shit does not happen here. Okay?
Well,
Like,
that's good. Like, if that's the case, like, you would not want to reach that certain age, or else, like she said, dead, no way, bro.
it's not true. You don't become a burden to the health care just because you're older. And in fact,
That's unfair either way. So,
I would argue that because
exactly.
Europeans have more access to regular health, like regular checkups and doctor visits and things, because we have insurance that is affordable or free, depending on which European country you live in, um, you're going to be able to treat and diagnose things earlier before they become a real problem and you end up in the emergency room. So, that whole thing of like, ooh, the healthcare really sucks if you are living, like if it's government regulated or government funded. It's a lie. It is a lie. It is not true. That is not reality. Okay, that is not reality. 3, working without rest or without holidays does not mean that you're working hard. I know that I definitely had some PTSD, I guess I would say, about working. When I first moved to the Netherlands from the States, I really had a lot of issues with taking a sick day or, like going on holiday for more than a couple of days at a time. Like, actually, let's say going for 2 weeks in the summer and not feeling guilty about that. In America, we're really taught to believe that, you are a good worker or you are a hard worker if you are coming to the office early, if you're leaving the office late, if you don't take a sick day, never. So yeah, feel free, come into your workplace with your slimy nose and your infectious cough. Make everybody else sick. We'll all be here sick together, and that's going to be an efficient and effective workforce. Like, come on, like I really struggled with these thoughts. Taking, as I mentioned, taking holidays was like something that I really had to adjust to, and feel like I'm not letting down my employer because I'm actually making use of my rights. So that was definitely a big thing for me. So Americans, like, I really hope that you understand that you are not a shitty employee if you take a day off.
Exactly. Like, some people, I'm not sure, like, even in school, this is not just work, school as well. Like, some people say, like, you can't take the day off because you're going to show a bad image or something. I'm talking about school now. So it's basically the same. Like, the best student in the class probably thinks she cannot take a day off because it will show that she is not trying or something, like she's lazy to go to school, or I don't know. So that, no, bro.
This brings us to point number 4. Capitalism and consumerism are not the most worthy of ideals. When I lived in the States, my absolute favorite pastime was shopping. I loved going shopping for clothes, for, makeup, whatever, shoes. Oh, shoes. Oh, I love shopping for shoes and bags and things. And I was doing it all the time. Like, anytime a friend wanted to go hang out, like, oh yeah, let's go walk around the mall, let's go shop a little bit, it was always about getting more stuff, more new stuff, like showing off that stuff. And if you look, I mean, now how much things have changed. If you look through the videos on my channel, you'll see that I think I bought new clothes like once in the 2 years that I've had my channel. So I'm re-wearing the same clothes that I've been wearing for ages, and I'm going to until I don't, fit them, or until I need something new. But this whole aspect of like consumerism and buy stuff, it loops into that. Like, you have to keep working so you can keep buying, so you can keep working so you can keep buying. And that's how they trick you into
Yeah.
like not being able to be like, oh, let me work a little bit, let me go on a vacation because I'm going to pay for that, and then like I'm just going to not necessarily buy all new clothes all the time. So there's these like fallacies and these like things that are just not logical, or they're not right. Consumerism and capitalism play a huge role in that. More money does not equal more happiness. That is also something that it took me a while to learn here. Now, I'm
That
not
is
saying
actually
that like
true.
if you don't have money to buy food, that more money would not lead to more happiness, or if you don't have the money to pay for your, I don't know, heating in the middle of winter, that having more money would not increase your happiness. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in a middle class society, or like a middle class frame of reference, let's just say, suddenly becoming a millionaire is not necessarily going to make you happier. If you're able to meet your basic needs and then maybe do a little bit of like extras on the side, having all this like piles and piles of money is not going to increase your happiness exponentially. And I think that Europeans know that. Like, Europeans seem to get that. And so their goal is not necessarily always to just have more money. I think that consumerism really gives you an unrealistic expectation of what life should be or could be. And maybe we have the media to thank for that, but definitely just having more stuff and buying more stuff actually does not lead to more happiness.
Like, in my opinion, I think like your health should be like number one instead of money and stuff, like your physical health, uh, like looking after yourself, that is the main thing after all.
5. Freedom is a word that we really like to use in the United States, but it's actually not something that a lot of people truly have. This is subjective. I understand that your definition of freedom might be different than my definition of freedom, and therefore we might have a difference of opinion on this subject. But for me, freedom means the following: freedom from stress or fear that if I get sick, I might be forced into bankruptcy or lose my home due to a medical debt. That is something that really weighs heavy on me, because getting sick is not something that you can control. And if that happens, wow, like, what choices do you have? And that's just, I don't think that anyone is going to disagree with me on that you should not have to live in fear of losing your home or your life because you got sick. Freedom also from crushing student
Sure.
debt is a big one. I really admire like Europeans who, have seemed to have figured out that we should make education, higher education, accessible to everyone, and not get people into crushing lifelong debt. And I'm not saying that there's no student loans or things here in the Netherlands, because there also is. You can also take out loans if you need study, like financing to go to school. But we're not talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, That's definitely not the amount that we're talking about. And I also feel like another big freedom for me is the freedom to feel safe. And I did not always feel safe in the States. I am nervous about guns, and you might say, guns don't kill people, people kill people. Yeah, but people have a lot of guns. A lot of people have a lot of guns in the United States, and I am afraid of those people because I don't know them and I don't know they're unpredictable, and I don't feel safe knowing that I could
Yeah,
be on a street
exactly.
walking around and there could be everybody that I see could have guns and there could be shit going on at any moment. Like, that is not safe for me. Students, like children going to school, having to wear bulletproof backpacks, that is not freedom for me. That is not
Really?
the
That's actually a thing. Children at school wear bulletproof backpacks. If that is a thing, bro, like literally, I did not know that.
is not that,
That's
no,
crazy.
it's not. Yeah, so that
No
some
way.
guy can have freedom to have as many guns as he wants. Now all these children have to wear bulletproof backpacks to school? Like, how is that freedom?
What?
That's definitely not freedom in terms
No,
of
bro.
my current definition. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about all of these things. So,
Wow.
socialism and social democracy are two different things. The Netherlands specifically is not socialist, it is a social democracy. These two things are different, and if you don't know the difference, please educate yourself, because calling Europe socialist is wrong and is not the case. That's it. That's my rant. These are the 6 myths or lies that I was told that I now see.
Wow, guys, that was actually like crazy. Like some things here that were mentioned that was just insane. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Totally want to check those out. Don't forget, don't like this video, subscribe to the channel. It truly helps me out, and see you on the next one. Peace out.